mean, I beat Dark Souls 1. How hard is Dark Souls 2 really going to be? Oh no. Oh, Daddy, please, no! So, I've never played Dark Souls 2 before, and I thought it'd be fun to try because the only thing I ever hear about this game is that literally everybody hates it. Yeah. So I figured what better way to experience the game than to play it myself. I want to see what it's all about, if all the hatred is justified or not, or if the game is actually better and hides some secrets beneath the surface. And since it's my first playthrough of the game, I decided to go into this one relatively blind. I made sure to avoid my friends' opinions, I made sure to not look up any Reddit threads. I wanted to experience this game without other people's opinions influencing my thoughts on it. Here it is, my journey through Dark Souls 2 to figure out if it's as bad as people seem to think it is, or if perhaps it hides something beneath the surface. Let's get started. That's the last time I buy panties from a guy online. Wait a minute. Where am I? I know this ambience. The fog. I'm in Silent Hill! It's Dark Souls 2, you fucking idiot! Silent Hill! Unlike the musky dungeons of Dark Souls 1, things here start off a little bit different in the Things Betwixt, which is also the tutorial zone for this game. Holy shit, why is there like input delay or something when I move? It feels like input lag, I don't know, it's weird, I don't like it. So, I installed a mod that specifically fixes movement in this game, which in itself fixed my journey and my experience, but I have to say, this is ridiculous. The fact that I have to install a mod for the game to like play functionally the right way is really bizarre. For whatever reason, the game was made with a grid-like movement where you move in only one specific direction and not like 100% like 360 movement. You can only move in one of like 8 different directions. And the problem is, if you're trying to attack an enemy that's in like between one of the 2 directions you're trying to go for, you're just gonna miss. And it's frankly painful to play through. Like I'm telling you, when I tried to play through the game in the beginning with just the basic movement, it was terrible. Like the mod is almost a necessity, and that in itself is a little bit worrying, especially if you're playing this on non-PC, you know, like on a console or something. You're not going to be able to even fix this. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Ugh. Whew. Why does it smell kind of musky in here? I like it. Entering the hut, we encounter the Firekeeper Retirement House. Now, these ladies were all firekeepers at some point, but now they don't look so, well, hot, I guess.
You are undead, and you are cursed, and a hollow, my dear fella. You are completely
Well, if you put it like that, it does sound pretty bad. Now we get to make our actual character, and unlike Dark Souls 1, you do this after you've already started the game, which is a little bit odd, but it doesn't really matter because our options are, well, they're interesting. So unfortunately, this game doesn't have the Thief class, which is in Dark Souls 1 that I really wanted to play, and Bandit looks a little too spicy for me, so I decided to go for a Knight, as he has a decent stat spread, but also a different stat that's not recognizable to me, ADP. Astic and pussy. No, actually what ADP is basically adaptability, and it's a stat that's tied to your agility, which in turn is tied to your iframes. And to explain iframes, it's those moments where you're sort of invincible whenever you're rolling. Like, you know, when enemies trying to hit you and you roll sort of into their attack, and because in those like few frames, they just cannot hit you. Well, basically for whatever reason, they tied the iframes to the agility in this game, and agility was tied to adaptability. And together, that's the only way for you to increase your iframes to make sure that you can actually avoid, you know, attacks. And I'm gonna tell you right now, people hate this thing. No. No, 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 come on. If I pretend it's not there, maybe it won't be there. Yeah, that's what adaptability feels like after a few hours in this game.
Okay, let's go. We made a character. Ooh, there's a chest. Oh, dude, I hope this game doesn't have mimics. And the first bonfire, nice.
And I guess this is a good time to mention another mechanic in this game that's different from, well, Dark Souls 1, which is torches. Now, I'll be real with you, torches are really weird. You see, they exist in this game to help you with visibility. There are a few places in the journey of Dark Souls 2, in the land of Drangleic, where you will encounter moments where you do really need torches, but the actual mechanic itself isn't really well explained in the game. Now, to activate them, and I'll tell you right now, I didn't discover this until literally the end of the game as well, but to activate them, you have to first of all find a torch in the overworld while killing NPCs, and second of all, you have to go to a bonfire to light them on fire. Also, this zone, the things betwixt, like this area works as your tutorial to teach you. I do not think it's even close to as good as the Undead Asylum, which I think does a perfect job of leading you in the right direction to show you how to get new weapons, how bonfires works, doing your first boss battle. All of that works really well, whereas in Dark Souls 2, for whatever reason, they do have a tutorial area in the beginning here where you can go through different caves that will teach you just generally how movement and attacks and jumping works, but then you'll also have the matter of there not really being any logic to check these side paths unless you just want to explore.
Alright, well, is he made out of rock? Did they all just fucking kill themselves? What the fuck? Okay, the game looks... Oh, this looks actually beautiful. So far, not that difficult, not gonna lie.
Point into the game, I'd already ran around and spent about an hour just exploring, and compared to Dark Souls 1, it was immediately clear to me that this game has way more paths and side areas for you to check out. Like I mentioned, unlike Dark Souls 1, where the tutorial is very tight and intuitive and sort of laced into progression, this game doesn't do that. Dark Souls 2 just sort of throws you into the world and lets you go wild with exploration. It almost feels like an attempt at doing an open world Dark Souls.
Hey, this place looks, Wait, who the hell is that? I'm offline. Did he just recite my IP address?
That's what happens when you know, browse unprotected.
What am I supposed to do? I don't even have a shield equipped.
Hey, maybe try opening your inventory. There might be something in there.
What's this?
That is your most powerful tool against any malicious phantoms, dude.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. I was just trying to game, now my loot got jacked. This red guy pulling up like a cyber attack. But just with one click, now I'm fully protected. Threat protection is on, no malware detected. Block sketchy ads, keep trackers away. While I stream JoJo straight from Norway. With NordVPN, I ain't taking a risk. 30-day refund, that's chef's kiss.
NordVPN gives you top-tier protection with their threat protection as well as their malware blocking and access to content worldwide, which is how I was able to still watch JoJo and a bunch of anime while traveling to South Korea on Netflix. And all of that with just one click. And yes, they do have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to worry about. It is risk-free for you. So ladies and gentlemen, use my link down below or just use the code BLUELAT at checkout for a 2-year plan, which if you get it, you also get 4 months off for free. So check out NordVPN in the link in the description down below. Thank you. And now, let's go to this random city. And then we reach it. Majula. Now this is a beautiful place, and it's also supposed to be the hub world, a peaceful village by the sea, a new home, a beautiful haven, and a place of calm. You see, it's clearly meant to be this game's version of like Firelink Shrine, but I do think it is nicer in some way. It's larger, there's much more to see and do, and it feels a little bit more welcoming. However, something felt really off to me about this place. There are way too many NPCs here. Firelink Shrine was isolated, echoey. Majula, again, feels populated. Almost too populated. There's a cat, a merchant, a depressed knight, a blacksmith on Fent, kind of all in one place. Which is fine, but it loses that melancholy that the bonfire in Firelink Shrine has, which I think is almost necessary for a game like Dark Souls.
Oh, who the hell is she?
This is the Emerald Herald. She is the one who sets us up for this journey and sort of acts as the guide for us, being the one who tells us what our journey entails. She also handles all leveling, as we have to speak to her to actually increase our stats. Unlike the bonfires in Dark Souls 1, you now actually have to talk to her every single time that you want to upgrade your stats. Please, my lady, I wish to goon.
Ooh, filth. I demand you to travel the lands and become king. You must travel across all of Drangleic and acquire the 4 great souls, at which point you may be granted the power to fight him. He is the former ruler of these lands, and perhaps you may also meet 3 of his former adversaries on your journey as well.
All right, I can probably do that. Wait, so we gotta run around and kill 4 big fellas, take their souls, beat the shit out of, I guess, an old king, and then become king myself? Sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it?
Okay, so she gives me the Estus flask, I see.
I get my first Estus flask from the Emerald Herald, but it's only 1. And if I want to get more of them, I have to find these items called Estus shards. These are used to upgrade the Estus flask, but here is the issue. Early on in the game, you're not going to really find as many as you'd want to, which means you're going to have a harder time, which is why I think that Dark Souls 2 has a much harder first half than the second half of the game. It does make the game a little bit harder to get into compared to Dark Souls 1, where you have 5 Estus flasks to start with. Where am I supposed to find one of these things, dude? Wait, what's this? Ooh? A mommy? No, it's not her. It's just an Estus flask. And I only found this because I was randomly swinging my weapon around like a caveman. And instead of giving me the upgrade for free, the game rewards curiosity. So if you want better healing, go explore. Go hit weird objects. It's like From Software's way of making the world worth searching around and actually spending your time within. Oh yeah. Also, for whatever reason, the game gives you fast travel right from the start. You see, I think it kind of kills the flow of the game a bit because, you know, in Dark Souls 1, you sort of had to earn this ability to teleport from place to place. But overall, the ability to fast travel is kind of amazing to do it like right off the game start. You see, no more is there a need to do the long ass run back all the way from like Firelink Shrine to Quelaag like I had to do before, and it's just much easier. However, by the late game, the page fills up faster than Pyro when you mention the word inflated. It's actually kind of hard to find where I'm supposed to go because there's just so many things to click on. But that's fine because we still got to do some exploring.
Oh no, dude, it's a death counter. I do not want to check this by the end of my run. Holy shit, this is gonna be bad.
Once again, looking out over Majula, it's beautiful, it's serene, it's still, but there's something under the surface that doesn't sit right. Oh, and also there's a big fat hole in the middle of it. Eventually, I'm faced with 3 paths. And looking at these paths, this is where I'd learned that Dark Souls 2 does this the best. It doesn't tell you where to go. The game, again, just expects you to figure it out yourself for the most part. And I tried them all, one by one. I made very little progress, though, in each of them. At first, I went down towards the beautiful Cathedral, bathed in golden light, that being Heide's Tower of Flames.
Oh wow, this actually kind of looks a little bit like Anno Londo, I think. Who's this guy? Kind of like the Black Knights from Dark Souls 1. Nope, never mind. There it is.
And with that death, well, I realized maybe I should try going in a few other directions as well because Heide's Tower was a bit difficult, which took me down into the Forest of Fallen Giants, which was, well, about the same. Doodaloo, making my way straight down into a cave. And it's always gonna be busy in here, crossing a bridge, and I... Well, that was not the right way. Is this the right way? Shit. Nope. What is this? Oh, God. Oh, no, never mind. So this back and forth, it's kind of beautiful though. You see, for as janky as Dark Souls 2 feels, it actually does one thing really well, which is it gives you a real sense of freedom. The fact that I felt like I could genuinely go whichever direction I wanted to felt like liberating. In Dark Souls 1, there felt like also that same freedom, but here there's just more options, I guess. Why are there 2 first areas? Where's the firstest one? Unlike Dark Souls 1, which funneled you through like a tighter web of like specifically interlocked areas, this one just opens the gate and lets you go crazy. Eventually, I did find the first bonfire in the forest and even bumped into a merchant that sells 1 fragrant branch of yore. However, I didn't know just yet what this item does and how useful it would be for me later on.
Oh no! I'm not supposed to attack this one! Oh shit! Oh no! I can talk to him!
Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself.
Okay, so I should be careful, I guess? I don't really know. Oh! It's closed! Wait, did he do that? I think he might have. Oh no, he was right! There are actually. Oh my fucking god, he wasn't lying. He was actually telling the truth!
Wait, you're trying to tell me that this guy, this dude, he's really not evil in a From Software game? Gotta be fucking with me, right? But before I actually committed to exploring the Giant's Forest any further, I actually went back to the Tower of Heide to actually do a little bit more exploring there, because, I don't know, maybe it was the ocean breeze that called me, or maybe it was the big hunky men that make me turn on. Well, we'll never know. So let's go explore Heide's Tower. Heide's Tower of Flame stands as a testament to a lost civilization. It's a kingdom drowned beneath the ocean waves and once prosperous. Heide was said to have been a beacon of miracles and worship, a sacred city reminiscent of even Anor Londo, which, I mean, when you look at it, that's kind of what it looks like, but now it's just sinking into the water, into the sea.
Holy shit, no way! He actually fell off! Okay. Cool. Oh my god. It's so... Nope. Another one fall! Easy, man. Easy.
However, just like Anor Londo, this place is a fake out. Basically, it looks peaceful, bright, clean, and all that bullshit, but it's full of giant armored knights, and...
I can summon.
Eventually, I reach a fog gate, and here waits my first boss battle in Dark Souls 2. And inside is the Dragon Rider. Dragon Riders were elite knights of Drangleic. These guys were feared and respected, known for taming dragons in battle. But this one doesn't have a dragon. Well, at least, I don't know, looks like he doesn't have a dragon. He's just fighting me solo.
Sheesh! There we go. Okay, I mean, I did get, like, help, so not as epic, but I don't know, man. Kind of not that cool of a boss to start with. Like, I don't know. He looks cool, but didn't really feel like a boss.
And weirdly enough, this would become a reoccurring theme throughout my journey. A lot of Dark Souls 2 bosses, just something feels strange about them. Like, some of their concepts are cool, but other than that, it feels like something is missing. It felt like a sign of what's to come. Like, interesting concepts, but the fights themselves lacking a bit of that Dark Souls 1 magic. Oh, also, she sells a bunch of spells, but I don't really use magic, so I don't give a shit. But there was one thing that I noticed while trying to do this boss fight, which is specifically that every time I had to do that run back, I was in pure agony. That run back was annoying, but not because of the reason you might think. The reason it sucked was because of humanity. Every time you hollow, your HP goes down. Yes, every time you die in this game, your HP total, not your just overall HP, your HP total goes down up to 50%. 50! What? Okay, so I can understand it in two ways, right? There's both the positive and negative to this. First of all, the positive of this mechanic is that it makes you take your sweet time. It forces you to not be able to just speed through every location and ignore everything within it. It makes you want to take time to look around and take on each enemy one by one and have some strategy behind it. But there is another issue, which is every time you do make a mistake, it's gonna discourage you from wanting to actually explore. All you're gonna end up doing is still doing that fast run back, trying to get past all the enemies so you don't have to deal with them. In my opinion, for whatever reason, the humanity system in this game is just overly punishing, especially when early on in the game like this. Like later in the game, I can kind of deal with it, I'll be honest with you, because I find ways to grind human effigies and get them faster. But early on in the game, when you don't actually know all these things, it makes the journey so much more unbearable. But it's all fine, because with Heide's Tower conquered, it's time to move forward. But forward in this case means This next zone, creatively named No Man's Wharf, quickly reintroduces one of Dark Souls 2's most, questionable mechanics, which is torches. Okay, well, see, the torch system in this game can be useful, but unfortunately, I never took the time to fully still figure it out. But if I just turn my brightness slider all the way up, I should be fine. Also, I played this thing on a very specific device, which was my Legion Go. The reason for this is because I was going to be traveling in the middle of playing through Dark Souls 2. So yes, I played Dark Souls 2 on an airplane. As you're watching this gameplay, this is me playing it on an airplane where for some reason, the game on my Legion Go started having insane input lag. Like every time I made a movement, I would just die over and over again, which made my experience of No Man's Wharf pure fucking pain.
Oh my god, why am I stun-locked? Misclicked.
Oh. Why is everybody here on fucking Fent? To make matters worse, hollowing, oh my lord, was now hitting me harder than ever. Each death was like cutting my health down to about half, which in itself would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that there's way too many enemies. I'm playing this on an airplane on my way to South Korea, and also at the same time dealing with insane lag. Shit, fuck, shit. Nope, shit. Oh my dear god.
Oh, they're like not responding anymore. That's really weird.
Yes, in Dark Souls 2, enemies can be permanently killed. In this case, after about 12 or so deaths, they won't actually respawn anymore, which is very different from Dark Souls 1, which is a game where, well, the mobs will always respawn, which is why you sort of have to keep trying to figure out what the right path to take is after constant failures. But in Dark Souls 2, that's not the case. Now, this completely changes how the game works. Instead of like perfectly, carefully planning out a run, instead you have to persistently grind your way through enemies until they just don't show up anymore.
I just wish the movement in this game wasn't so shit. Why am I moving so weird?
I soon meet Lusatiel of Mira.
You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people.
Lusatiel's story hits different. She's slowly losing her identity to the hollowing, and a lot of Dark Souls 2 is really about memories and how hollowing makes you lose them, and as you hollow, you lose parts of yourself.
Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed.
Not Solaire, don't care.
Boy. Alright, here we go.
Oh, come on, man. What the fuck is this now? Alright, after dealing with, frankly speaking, a lot of really bad stuff like the pirates, lag, and economy seeding, we finally make it to the boss battle in No Man's Wharf. And I'll be real with you, this one is fucking hard. The Flexile Sentry. This thing was designed specifically to guard and oversee the transport of prisoners, with 2 torsos and no blind spots. It basically symbolizes vigilance and oppression, though now it's instead standing here and oppressing me because fuck did this boss really make it hard.
No, what the fuck is this movement?
This fight sucks and was the hardest thing I had encountered up until this point in the game because of how fucking cramped the boss area in this fight really is. There isn't enough space to move around within it, so it was extremely hard to just stay alive. So I asked Lusatiel to help me out. One cool element of this fight, though, is that because we are on a ship, as we fight the sentry, you can actually see that the boat is sinking as the arena fills up with a bunch of water. It's a small but really cool little detail.
Come on, let's go!
Lost Bastille, named after a French prison. I actually wonder what part is worse, that it's a prison or that it's French. Definitely that is French. Shit, not again. Ah! Why are there so many rabies dogs here? The way they placed all the dogs and stuff here really freaking sucks, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, the enemy placements in the Lost Bastille are almost impossible to get through, especially when you're having lagging issues. Oh my god, So immediately the Bastille then sets this tone of misery. Enemies here are ruthless, the dogs will constantly swarm me, the hollows ambush you, and the place is just littered with exploding barrels.
Oh no, of course, yeah. That's great. Dude, are you kidding me?
Also, weapon durability in this game fucking sucks. You might as well throw this thing away because it breaks in no time. I don't know what the logic is, but literally if you hit anything, if you like hit an enemy, it will just break. It's ridiculous. Weapon durability in Dark Souls 2 isn't just really a gimmick, it's an actual real mechanic, and you're forced to adapt to it constantly. Sometimes swapping gear mid-battle isn't that surprising or out of the norm. Long sword, short sword, giant dragon tooth, it doesn't really matter. Every weapon in this game can break. But the weird thing is, just like in Dark Souls 1, there's this thing where if you hit, like, I don't know, if you clip into a building or something, or if you hit something that isn't just the enemy, it will also ruin the durability of your weapon faster. But the issue is there is moments where that is way too fast, making it almost impossible to beat certain bosses, especially if you're like me and you invest all your stats into strength.
Le Roc. Maybe I get on the rest shirt. Who knows? Oh, never mind.
The Lost Bastille really has just a bunch of stuff going on. First of all, there is a lot of locked doors and locations you just cannot enter from the path you first approach them. But there is also another thing. There are the Pharaoh's Lockstones. Now, these are mysterious items that unlock hidden doors and contraptions that are scattered all along Drangleic. But the thing with the Lockstones is they're kind of like a lottery. You see, sometimes you may get lucky and you find a room with some sick items. Other times, the other side of the door might try to kill you. So it's really a gamble if you want to go for the Pharaoh's Lockstones. It's really up to you. I did a few of them, but after a while I realized, and it wasn't really necessary for the main game plot to move forward, so I kind of ignored them after a while. And honestly, there are just way too many doors in this game, and you never know what waits on the other side, as half of them are locked, and I end up sort of forgetting about most of them by the time I find the keys for them. Now, the Lost Bastille wasn't always a chaotic madhouse. It once served as Drangleic's primary prison. Like I mentioned before, that's where names comes from. A dark place for political dissidents, and most people have just forgotten about this place. It's a grim reminder that in Drangleic, memory is the first victim of the curse of the undead, which naturally we want to avoid, hence this bullshit quest we're on.
Dear God, no, not this. In here? Nope, never mind.
Who's this guy now? Yeah, we'll talk about that guy, the pursuer, a little bit later, okay? Like, a little bit later. But oddly enough, beneath all the pain, the exploding barrels, I started to kind of get the game. Dark Souls 2, at first, to me, felt like it was trying to do a lot of things differently than Dark Souls 1, and a lot of things similarly, but in the end, it really felt like this game was trying to do something on its own, and it has some unique charm to it when it actually works and isn't fucking, you know, breaking on me. Great. Now, can we get out of here, please? No. So I reach a place called Sinner's Rise, thinking, hey, maybe I'm finally heading in the right direction, and then...
Alright. Oh, fuck off. It's the boss from before!
For whatever reason in Dark Souls 2, they decided to do that whole thing where a previous boss becomes a regular NPC enemy later in the game, but here it happens way too quickly. I mean, we just fought the Flexile Sentry, and here it is again. But what comes next is even worse. Oh dear God.
Oh, unlucky! Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun with this boss.
Yep, I got absolutely folded. And instead of doubling down, like any regular person would, I decided to just leave like the little goblin that I am. You see, because the Lost Sinner boss fight was being so difficult, more about that later.
Fucking die, man! Just want it, die, man!
I ended up just backtracking after a while and trying to maybe find a different road. But I started finally cleaning up the Forest of the Fallen Giants. I finally got my hands on a fragrant branch of yore, used for unpetrifying NPCs and enemies, which I didn't realize because the game never tells you.
This is the Last Giant, a fight that I had seemingly completely missed, as I was supposed to do this probably a little bit early in the game, but here we are, we're fighting him now, and I'm gonna be honest, not that difficult of a fight in itself.
Come on. Yes, let's go! Oh, probably easiest fight so far, though.
And just like that, another piece of this world's shattered history falls into place. The Last Giant is dead, but there is more to learn about these things later on. I kept getting lost around here, but thanks to the fast travel, it was very easy for me to travel around and all the way back to Sinner's Rise again, where something new would be waiting for me.
Why am I getting invaded? I'm not even online. How am I getting invaded?
This is your first Red Phantom NPC, the Forlorn. Dark Souls 2 throws these at you whether you're online or not. And you know what? I think this is pretty smart and I actually like it. You see, in Dark Souls 1, if you did not want to deal with invaders, you simply just did not need to revert your hollowing or just go offline. If you go offline, you cannot be invaded. But in Dark Souls 2, they just baked them into the game. They are NPCs now, and yes, they can invade you at any time. It keeps tensions high, even when you're playing solo.
Come on. No. Yes, there we go. Oh, what is this now?
Oh, if the Red Phantom wasn't enough, then the Pursuer would be, because this guy will show up in random spots throughout the game and hunt you down, trying to kill you. He is, in a bizarre way, functioning sort of like the Nemesis from Resident Evil, where he will randomly keep showing up and hunting you, which makes him far more menacing. Hey, green screen guy, where was I supposed to— Whoop! Okay, well, at least I survived. Oh my fucking god. Is this the place? This is not it. Maybe here? No, seriously, where am I supposed to go now? Well, I couldn't figure that part out, so instead, I used the key I bought from one of the merchants and opened the blacksmith. Which is good for me, because that will allow me to upgrade my items. And alright, after a while, I kind of got stuck. I didn't exactly know where to go, so I backtracked. The forest didn't feel like the right way, the Lost Bastille didn't feel like the right way, the Sinner's Rise didn't feel like the right way, but there was one place that I forgot about totally, which was Heide's Tower of Flame. So I went back there. Why exactly? Well, hey, Jimmy, shouldn't we check out what's in that giant castle over there? No, I don't want to, asshole. Oh, come on, dude, what's wrong with it? Let's just go check it out. Fine.
I'm getting gangbanged by Bert and Ernie. Oh my. Oh, come on!
Frankly speaking, I spend most of my time here trying to reach the giant wyvern at the end of the foot of the castle. Oh, okay, its flames are pretty bad, but I'll be real with you. This thing isn't the big issue in this area. It's actually the big boys. It's the big fellas, the giant knights, the small knights. They kind of remind me of the Black Knights again from like Dark Souls 1, but they are the issue because they will gang up on you. And also NPCs in this game, they don't stop hunting you. Once you're in their range for aggro, they'll follow you forever. They'll keep following you until you literally exit the zone and get into a different one. It is genuinely hard to get away from these things.
Okay, I know what to do. Yep. Come on. Yes, there we go. Okay. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna get some food first.
Oh, look, a lever. Making my way uptown. Gonna enter Foggate. Whoop. Oh, no. Wait a minute. I know that face. Oh, come on. Anything but him, for real? Go!
Oh! They had it in, I forgot what his name is.
Yes, sir. Standing right before me in full Ornstein armor, ready to go, is the old dragon Slayer. But something seems off.
Oh? What? Oh, no.
Okay, this is weird. The moveset, it's familiar. The spear he uses, it's still deadly. The armor, it looks glorious, to be honest with you, but then I realized something. Wait, where's the big guy? Where's Smoke? Ooh. Yeah, Smoke's gone. Smoke's dead. Yeah. No, actually, this just wasn't the Ornstein. Not really. This isn't the same guy. Now, I'll be honest, I have a bit of a theory. I would assume that maybe this is somebody who was inspired by Ornstein. Somebody who maybe wants to be a copycat or similar. Because remember, if this game is set really further into the future from the events of Dark Souls 1, then maybe just somebody saw the armor or maybe even saw a statue of Ornstein and that inspired them to make an armor similar to that because of the legends passed down about the Great Warrior. Either way, it's a cool fight. A solo battle that works similarly but yet differently than the original one. Of course, there being no Smaug, it means no lightning butt slams.
Come on, yes! Yes! Okay. Sheesh!
So after this heroic battle of legacy and blood, I walk upstairs and murder a random man on a balcony. He was enjoying the view a bit too much. I don't like that. With that mystery solved, I had yet to figure out exactly where I was going, so I make the decision to return to Lost Bastille, because unfortunately, I still had a sinner to kill. Sup, bitch? Yeah, I should probably mention, this fight completely broke me. Like, this fight was so hard, I had no clue what to do. It genuinely sucked, and honestly, I didn't even know where the summoning circle was, even if I wanted to summon an NPC to help me. I hate this fight, but it is one of the better ones in the game.
Oh, dude, why is he so fast? Oh, I can't win. I cannot beat him. Who thought it was a good idea to lower your health every time you die? Like, this is...
You see, the Lost Sinner is a masked freak in a pitch-black prison, and he's wielding a sword that is pretty much bigger than the package in Johnny Sin's underwear. But then I learned, her attacks don't track that well. They commit too early, so if you dodge right into the attacks, you're actually just barely able to get out of the way. This is where leveling up the adaptability stat matters the most. Because of how adaptability is set up, having it in a higher stat makes it so our iframes are much better and easier to dodge the attacks from the Sinner. And this is again where that problem with adaptability for a lot of people comes into play, because the game has a really bad time actually giving you feedback when you get hit. For some reason, sometimes when you're dodging properly, it feels like you shouldn't be hit, but you still end up being hit, and the game doesn't really give you any feedback. Normally in Dark Souls 1 and other games, you get the feedback of either a sound cue, or your controller shakes, or you see it on the screen visually. But in Dark Souls 2, there's almost never anything that indicates that you actually got hit, except your health bar, which will suddenly go down even though it feels like you have dodged the actual attack, which in itself makes it so unbearable in this game to fight bosses. Eventually, I take the Sinner down. However, as I walk down, I do find a new kind of bonfire. This is a primal bonfire. It's not like the others. There's no resting or leveling up here. It just yoinks you straight back to Majula. This is how you know that this fight mattered, because why would there be a special bonfire here unless this fight was important? Well, that's because it was. Because this was one of the first 4 Great Souls that we're after. 1 down, 3 to go. Please send help. But hold on, I wasn't done in Lost Bastille in this area just yet. I still had a little bit of looking around to do. I finally used the Fragrant Branch of Yore, an item that personally I would say I don't really like. I don't like that it's something that's just found in the world or only limited quantity. I think if it dropped from bosses it would be better, and it's just used to unpetrify people, which kind of doesn't always work the best.
Oh dude, there's so many enemies. How are you meant to get through here without losing health? Oh, come on.
And now I unlock a new hellhole, the place of our next boss battle, which is going to be extremely difficult.
There's 3 bosses at once. Like, 3 at once, and they're actually boss battle. Wow.
These are the Ruined Sentinels, and once more, the game decides to throw a wrench into my expectations. So far, most fights I've had always just had one individual enemy I had to fight at a time. When it came to the bosses, however, the Ruined Sentinels throw me in the deep end with the inclusion of 3 total bosses, which I have to fight all at the same time. Now listen, you can fight the first one alone up here on this platform, but if you mess up and fall off the edge, or if you take too long, the other 2 will show up and attack you at the same time too. But I think there is an interesting element here with this fight that I really love, which is that it sort of mimics the format of this game. Now think about it, in Dark Souls 1, the way the game works is a lot on trial and error. Enemies don't despawn, so you have to constantly try to figure out what the most effective path to take take actually is. But in Dark Souls 2, because enemies can despawn, what you want to do is very methodically take one or two on at the same time and kill them. And because of their insane aggro range, you will constantly be attacked by multiple of them. And in some way, the Sentinel boss fight mimics that perfectly. It also has you fighting multiple enemies at the same time, and the best way to defeat them is to divide them up and beat them one by one.
Why does it have to be 3 of them, though?
Alright, let's go. Okay, we got one at least.
Thankfully, I started using a big-ass sword at this point in the game. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's a sword, all right. That's a real sword, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Please, come on. Yes! Okay, almost. Let's go!
To beat them, the best method is naturally to separate them one by one and take them out. But the moment I fall off this one ledge and have to face all of them at once, it's over.
Oh my god, please. Come on! Let's go!
According to lore, these ruined sentinels used to be the guards of this Bastille, this prison. Now these fellas are just stuck here doing fuck all.
Oh, finally. Oh.
With them beaten, I could finally move forward. Except...
I hate this game. And he's here too!
Wait, is that the Pursuer again? No way, dude.
Okay, luckily he's easy. Oh.
This wasn't the last I'd see of the Pursuer, but it was the first time I felt like I was actually getting stronger in the game. The fact that I could beat him this time, and I wasn't feeling super scared, was genuinely encouraging. However, next up we have a mysterious bell tower, a tiny little man, and a lot of very angry little dwarfs. Oh, you little shits. Inside this bell tower, I also find a massive grave of tiny dwarves. These dwarves seem to be obsessed with the bell at the top of this tower for whatever reason. On the way up, we encounter a large chunk of enemies, which consists of extremely pissed off dwarves, and I thought joining the Covenant would make these guys not attack me, but turns out that wasn't the case.
Oh, I kinda expected them not to attack me if I joined the Covenant. Guess not.
Eventually, at the top here, the game also throws a little red phantom dwarf at us at the same time too, like some kind of surprise Pikmin raid boss. I mean, look at this thing. Kick him to death. I mean, sure, dude. Well, yahoo! Sheesh. He's gone. And what's my reward for dealing with the dwarves? Oh, good. It's fucking gargoyles again. No, not again. Not again. Don't worry. These aren't your Dark Souls 1 gargoyles. They're smaller, but also faster. And there's like 5 of them instead of 2.
Brother, observe the mortal. He has rolled 5 times in the last 3 seconds. Truly a majestic beast. Watch as he panics. Watch the pure, sweaty gameplay. Do we actually attack him, or just let him embarrass himself further?
Dude, this is like a budget fucking Aldi version of a boss.
Yes, I know this is an homage fight again, but it feels a little bit odd. Why is there like 2 of these? Like, okay, I get it with Ornstein as a little reference, but why also the gargoyles? It feels a little bit weird. And also, it doesn't help that the arena in this game has like the surface area of Anomaly's ass. Like, it's large, but unfortunately not large enough. And the other issue is that they spawn in before you even finish killing the first one, so it's a battle of timings and speed, which doesn't make shit any better. So rolling and running away is almost 100% a necessity in this battle. Remind me to never try to roll for a video again. So yeah, rolling is almost a necessity, but it did make me pay attention to my stamina a bit more, where I noticed that for whatever reason, when you roll in this game, you use up a shit ton of stamina, and the time it takes it to recharge is also extremely long. Like in Dark Souls 1, you had way more time and the stamina wasn't as drained from just rolling, but in Dark Souls 2, your stamina goes down way too quick. I don't know why they set it up like this, but the stamina system in this game is almost too punishing. It's like unfun. Like, difficulty is fun in games. Dark Souls is famous for it. That's why they call them Souls-likes. But the problem is, when you make it almost too punishing, punishing, it just doesn't feel fun anymore. When you're just intentionally making it harder for no reason and unbalanced on top of all the other shit, it doesn't make it fun to play.
I don't get it. Why do they add so many of them? Like, why is there so many? Oh, this is just impossible.
Why are we even doing this fight? Green screen guy, why am I here? Honestly, dude, now that you mention it, why are we doing this fight? Like, it doesn't actually give us one of the 4 great souls. No, you don't mean, yeah, I think so. This shit was fucking optional. They didn't have to die? At least I got some loot and souls to level up from this battle.
So far, hardest fight. I mean, actually, Lost Sinner was really hard too, but this was just annoying.
We make a return to Majula, and I decide, you know what, I haven't really used the blacksmith a lot, so it's about time we upgrade our weapons. Ugh. Yeah, with the blacksmith, now we can actually create all kinds of different things, including crafting better weapons, or, well, not really crafting them, but basically we can upgrade our weapons if we do find any decent ones, and you know what? I like this. All right, I think I'm a little lost again. I notice this is the thing that happens all the time in this game, but eventually I do find someone familiar near those tunnels right next to the blacksmith in Majula. Now, the thing is, she does sell some, I mean, decent loot, I guess, if you really need spells and things, but she does sell something more important, which in this case is a path that opens up to us, which will lead us to the next location we have to go. Alrighty, welcome to Huntsman's Copse. Copse, I don't know how to say it. It's basically a forest populated with the worst kind of people. Crackheads. So this used to be an execution ground, but now it serves more like, I don't know, the dumping ground for a bunch of rejected Bloodborne NPCs. Oh, they may be from Bloodborne, but they're really fucking annoying. You've got skeletons, poison zombies, giant guys with BDSM hooks, and also just one dude who comes at you from the shadows, but basically, all of them are pretty fucked. Why is there a poison cave? Dude, who the fuck designed the enemy placement here? You plan on explaining the red phantom in front of the boss gate? You see, the bridge to the fog gate is pure hell. First is the torturers. They've got these weird weapons. They're also a gang, so they keep stabbing you. It feels like you're in the streets of Birmingham. Then, as already mentioned, you've got the red phantom. This guy is blocking the entrance straight into the actual boss fight. Clearing the path to the boss is actually the thing that took me longer to do than beating the boss themselves, which is kind of insane. But the worst part is the fact that if you haven't cleared everything and you somehow make it to the fog gate, for whatever reason, Dark Souls 2 is made in such a way that when you're about to enter a fog gate, you are not invincible. You know, in Dark Souls 1, you enter a fog gate and you're safe. As soon as you click that interact button, you will not be hit by enemies, but not in Dark Souls 2. While you're entering the gate, there is still a few seconds in the beginning of entering it where you can still be hit by enemies, which is exactly what happens to me several times. How many times? How many times? Please leave me alone. Almost there, come on. But eventually, I'm in, and it's time to meet the next boss fight. Yeah, this one's gonna be hard. Okay, so like, listen, just hear me out. Okay, first of all, horse. Got a big horse, runs in a circle. Then second of all, it's a chariot. And third thing, you got skeletons. Don't know who the fuck is causing them to appear, but they are here. Punch the fucking horse. I mean, I could try to punch it, or maybe, oh! You know what? I'm gonna make glue out of this thing. You'll see.
Oh, dude, the skeletons work just like in Dark Souls 1. It's just like in the catacombs.
Turns out the answer is necromancers. Actually, 2 of them. So, I sprinted through this entire place like a speedrunner on meth and managed to kill the 2. Because if you kill them, these skeletons will not spawn in anymore. And then also, I discovered there is a lever on one side of the map. And if we pull that one, a giant gate falls down, which will stop the chariot from moving. And now, it's just me and the ghost horse. Luckily, the horse is not super difficult to fight and is easily beaten, but I have to say that the Executioner's Chariot is probably one of my favorite fights in this game. It feels a little different from many of the other ones that you can run across, and unlike the gimmick fights, if you want to call them that, the Bed of Chaos from Dark Souls 1, this one's mechanics are actually reasonable and a fun challenge, and of course, that run back to get here makes the victory so much more satisfying.
Oh, you know what? Sheesh, that's actually a pretty good fight.
With the Executioner Chariot dead, we can continue exploring, but this area only contains a random NPC that I murder. Probably shouldn't have done that, but then again, who cares? It's a dead end anyway, so I run back and figure out there was a bridge leading me in a different direction all along, I guess, kind of.
Door de wind, door de... who's this guy?
Meet Creighton. He's a strange man. He's also a dangerous man, at least based on how he acts.
I am Creighton of Mira. My forces with a man on the way, but he was no more than a backstabbing knave. Be careful of him. Pate, I think he said.
Why does he hate Pate so much? I mean, he says like Pate did him dirty, but I'm not gonna lie, dude, I don't know if I trust you. Me neither, green screen man. I trust Pate. He didn't betray me, so why the hell would I trust this guy? Well, the thing is, you don't have to trust Creighton. There's actually an entire quest line for him and Pate, because for whatever reason, the two of them had some beef, and Creighton really wants him dead. If you do this quest line, it will take you on a long journey where you have to like interact with both of them until they finally meet up and have to duke it out, and then you get to choose who you want to help, which is kind of a cool little side quest. God, I miss Solaire. Anyways, we move on to the Skeleton Lords next. So, basically it's three big skeleton dudes, but they're not the real boss fight here. It's what comes after you kill them. Depending on which lord you kill first, they will actually summon different skeletons. Normal ones, big ones, and worst of them all, wheel skeletons. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you didn't know it, the wheel skeletons are actually, well, inspired by Berserk. And I do like Berserk if, well, you know, the tax-deductible sword hasn't already made you realize. But nonetheless, these things, they suck though. The only time you can hit them is when they stop moving, which is easier said than done because they just keep spinning like fucking Beyblades. The worst thing about this battle is that by this point in the game, I was low on heals, and also, remember, due to the game's limited Estus flasks, I often lose too much health before even reaching the fight, and don't have enough heals to take on the boss fight. It's over. Skeleton Lords are done for. And now we enter Harvest Valley. Harvest Valley was once a place of life, fertility, blooming and abundant with minerals, but like most places in Dark Souls 2, it got poisoned. It's kind of a fucking running point in this game. The entire valley is now a toxic dumping ground, turned into an industrial wasteland by the Earthen Peak, which sits just above. The poison seeps down through the land, corrupting, mutating, and killing anything that once used to live here. Dude, this place kind of stinks. Ah, fuck, it's a windmill. Godverdomme, it's probably made by Dutch people, isn't it? We meet a new merchant here, and
What? Do you need something?
I'm gonna be honest, Dark Souls 2's NPC designs are definitely interesting compared to Dark Souls 1. I mean, this game has a much more of an abundance of, let's call it, female voluptuous characters. She ain't no Solaire, though. She ain't my beautiful boy. But, funny enough, tucked away in Harvest Valley is a single glowing symbol of hope. It's a forgotten shrine, the home of the heirs of the sun. He may be gone, but his legacy lives on. Oh my god, it's Solaire's own covenant! No way! That's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. This is the spiritual successors to Solaire's covenant from the Dark Souls 1 game, the Warriors of Sunlight. This is a new covenant you can join, which I do, though I never actually take full advantage of it. Moving on to Earthen Peak, which is the next location, and oh boy, here we go again. I mean, sweet mother of God, man, is like every character in this game just gooner bait? Like, why? Why, bro, why? What is even going on at this point?
Oh no. Actually, easy fight.
So, the Covetous Demon is a relatively easy fight, to be real with you. I expected going in here that this was going to be a hard fight. I mean, you kind of have that expectation with every boss in Dark Souls, but no, again, not an issue whatsoever. He dies in a few hits.
Let's go. First try. That's what I'm talking.
So far, we've had saw trap enemy bosses, ghost horses, spinning skeletons, and now this. The game's pacing is like a buffet of up and downs constantly. So, after flattening Jabba the Hutt in record time, I ventured deeper into Earthen Peak. But the deeper I went, the worse it got.
Fuck's sake! Oh my... Oh.
This place is just ass. I don't like this place. Between the headless, masked mannequins that bum rush me every 2 steps I take and the swamp beneath my feet, I was already poisoned before I could even reach the next fog gate in this zone.
As soon as we spawn, they're like instantly right here waiting for us, 2 of them.
Now, the fact that before you could even get into this fog gate, they actually ended up placing quite a few obstacles in your way. First of all, there is a fire mage, there is a headless fella that will attack you, there's also a ghoul in the water, and 2 giant guards blocking the entrance itself. So you have, practically speaking, about 5 different enemies, let's say 6 if you count the actual swamp that poisons you, that you need to get through just to get inside of the actual boss fight. And remember, fog gates are dangerous because you will not go through instantly. And if you do manage to get in, you face off against your next challenge. Oh shit, it's a snake lady. Is she mommy? Now, here's what they don't tell you about this actual boss fight. See, if you had done a few specific things, you could have made it easier for yourself. First of all, right above this boss fight, there is actually a bonfire that I never actually discovered. Second of all, if you had decided to go off the beaten path and burn the actual windmill, which is in a location that you will never check generally on your playthrough, you can make the water disappear. What the logic is for the poison water to disappear if the window doesn't work, I don't get it. Don't ask me. But it's so out there, and I don't know who they thought would actually look for this, but that's the only way to make it easier. However, I didn't do that. You really thought I was gonna do that level of thinking and figuring that shit out? Fuck no, I'm an idiot. I just raw dogged that shit. And you know what? This fight is incredible. It is hard, trust me, it really is. And it's also very dramatic, and her moveset is varied enough to make this fight like difficult, but not impossible to do, even if you are getting poisoned the entire time. I just had to do a lot of thinking. I had to do a lot of mental gymnastics of trying to figure out like, hey, what's the most efficient way of me reaching her, fighting her, and not having too much poison damage on me? Well, it was just all about managing my heals. Lore-wise, Mitha was once a queen who longed for love, but she kind of lost her mind, and after chasing it for a long time, she went a bit cuckoo. Now she rules this peak like a cursed goddess, literally feeding off the poison. With Mitha gone, the way forward finally opens up, and it's time to say goodbye to the poison hell and head towards an entire castle built upon lava. And as soon as I step into this oven that feels like Europe during a heat wave, I immediately get jumped by a red phantom. Sir? Oh shit. Here we go. It's time again. Oh wait, no, that's too fast. Oh.
Wait, there's more than one?
Uh-huh. Yep, there's definitely more than one. There's too many red phantoms in this zone. After dying and being lost in the Iron Keep for quite a long time, I decided to make the decision to head all the way back to Majula, as I'd noticed again that I had that fragrant branch of yore, and I'd picked up another one and even purchased another one, but I hadn't used any of them just yet. And I realized maybe this can open up a new area, specifically the Shaded Woods.
Oh, it's a woman. Well, that's weird.
Meet Rosabeth of Melfia. She's a pyromancer, she's polite, and her clothes are obliterated. Well, that's a little bit weird now. Do we have any clothes we can give her? I don't know. I guess, take this shirt. Good enough. It's actually kind of funny with her. You can literally give her anything, like any armor piece in your inventory. If you give it to her, she will wear it. So I gave her my finest dollar store cosplay. She does also sell useful items like a ring that will make us take less fire damage, which is essential for the Iron Keep, which gave me a reason to go back there again. So, back in Iron Keep, a place so hot even Satan would ask for fucking AC, this place is just difficult to traverse. There are narrow walkways, there's knights with stunlock combos, and they also have giant fucking bows and arrows. They can literally group up heavily here and constantly knock the shit out of you or even knock you off the platforms down into the lava. You either get lit on fire, shot by 5 guys, kicked into lava. The complete Iron Keep experience. It is kind of frustrating at times. But there is a boss fight here that is pretty interesting, and that's going to be the Smelter Demon. It's a great fight. It's only kind of ruined by the fact that entering the actual fight is really difficult because you have to do the entire run back, and once you actually want to enter the fight, you basically get stopped right at the gate. But once you make it inside, it is a pretty dope fight. He starts out normal, his attacks can be easily dodged as they are very telegraphed, but at around like a quarter of his health, once that's gone, he enters another phase where he boosts his damage output after stabbing himself, which is a bit insane, but I don't know, I'm not going to question it. The last phase, though, is the worst one. Here his sword is engulfed in fire and he can shoot flames out of it. This is making the battle 10 times worse. This man has been aura farming for a long time because he will melt your health bar if you stay way too close. But if you back off, you will get cornered and stabbed to death. The thing about this fight is, this is one of the many fun fights in the game, but if I had to simply have just taken a different path, I could have easily avoided this entire fight, as it is optional. You don't actually have to beat this guy, as I've learned later on. So, with the Smelter Demon dead, I can crawl through more lava and find my next challenge.
God damn it. Tall.
The remainder of the Iron Keep is mostly a challenge of finding the right path and avoiding enemies around every little corner. There is a decent chunk of puzzling here too and exploring, which you have to do until you reach the bottom of the Iron Keep. Now, this fight is pure spectacle. I mean, look at this. It is a molten demon king of all things, dude. I mean, it's just insane. You got molten rock on this fella. It's a cool fight. Too bad the fight itself is a little too easy. And here's the thing. I didn't need to cheese this fight because if you just stand close enough, you can literally stab him and he will not be able to do anything. The only real boss here is actually the floor itself, because again, if you just stand close enough to him, he literally cannot hit you, as he has no moves that will, you know, damage you that close. I still got fucking hit by him though. What is wrong with the hitboxes? Whew. All right, well, that's done. I guess it's about time to make it down into the bottom of this place. Beating the boss and grabbing the Great Soul, we also unlock a very suspicious room. This is actually the entrance to one of the DLCs, but I didn't know that just yet, so I touched nothing, and we will return here later. I took the win, and I warped back to Majula using another one of the Primal Fires. That means we have another one of the Great Souls that we need to complete the game. 2 down, but the worst is yet to come.
Okay. Well, really? This?
How many more times are you going to force me to go back here, green screen man? Shut up, dude. Please just do your job. I don't pay you to complain. Like, you say that as if I enjoy being here. Do you think I enjoy this? Actually, I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. I do kind of enjoy being here. Oh, maybe. But lo and behold, returning to the Forest of Fallen Giants actually does garner us something. We find a forgotten fog gate, which I had not noticed before, and we find a familiar face. Holy shit. That is one of the coolest boss entrances ever. Like, who the fuck rides in on a giant crow and just jumps into battle? That is sick. Too bad though that I'm like 20 hours too late to get to this fight because it ends up being way too easy.
This is so obviously an early fight that I just didn't do. Oh my lord.
Turns out the big bird taxi also takes us to a side entrance of the Lost Bastille, which I had already visited, but the other way around backwards. So I guess great shortcut. So yeah, again, we are back in Majula. As you may notice, there's a lot of coming back here, but the thing though is, this is kind of the issue with Dark Souls 2. I was way too late to that pursuer fight because the game kind of doesn't really lead you in any particular direction, and if you go in the wrong direction, you're just gonna end up more or less wasting time, which is fine, but also can make the game a little unbearable at times. In Majula, there is a new man. So, who are you, dude?
Pay me, bitch!
This is Ladder Master Gilligan, and he sells something very specific. Verticality. You pay him to put like ladders down holes, and each ladder is a different price, which also makes it worse because only one of these goes all the way down, while the others two are like, they're useful still because they will go like far enough down for you to find specific items and stuff in the least deep parts of the giant hole. Speaking of which, I saw this hole at the start of my journey, but I never decided to actually, explore it. Damn! That shit deep. Okay, so how much do you want me to pay?
25,000 souls, that's the price!
25,000? That's insane! How about my used saw?
Deal!
Down below, we enter the Grave of Saints. Unfortunately, this place has more rats than a Papa John's dumpster, which means that we're gonna be having a little bit of a struggle. The first boss we run across within this area is the Royal Rat Vanguard. It's basically a whack-a-mole type of battle. You have to kill the attacking rats over and over until one specific one spawns in. So, if you've played enough whack-a-mole with these things, there will be a special one that spawns in. This one's got a mohawk. Kill him and the rest just kind of give up, as this one is the one that is considered the boss for this area. This fight is kind of underwhelming and sort of strange. I can see what they're going for, trying to make a little bit of a gimmick fight. They sort of try to add a variety to the boss fights in the game, but they weren't all exactly, of the highest caliber. And in this case, this one falls a bit flat because you can easily beat it if you just look for the mohawk one right off the bat. The gutter is Dark Souls 2's answer to Blighttown. It's a collapsed, decaying dumping ground, a place where the unwanted are discarded, both literally and spiritually and figuratively. Legend says that this is where the deceased, the cursed, and the forsaken were all thrown away to rot beneath Drangleic. Over time, those cast down here built a society from the debris. And of course, it's filled with poison and darkness and despair. Because of course it fucking is, dude. It's Dark Souls 2. What do you think?
Oh my god, it's Blighttown all over again. Why do... I hate this.
You see, the best way to get around here was still to use torches, but you see, there is only one issue. I still did not know how torches in this game actually worked. But that's not a problem, because I did have this one specific item they added in the game, an item that automatically lights torches for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. The only issue is, unlike the other torches, the regular ones, these will disappear once you die and respawn. So once I ran out of them, I was walking fully blind.
Literally, how do you make a place worse than Blighttown? How? How do you do that?
But don't worry, somehow things get worse. If I just imagine that none of these guys are here, then maybe I will be safe. But I don't really know if that's gonna make a difference. There's just too many of them, dude. What? Oh my god, what is this? Please, no, come on. Udo Papa. Why is somebody jizz on me? What is this going to do? You know what, I'm just gonna, listen, I know I'm doing this as a video, but I have to say this. This is one of the worst places in any game I've ever played, okay? Like, hear me out. Blighttown in Dark Souls 1 is a shithole, but it's our shithole, okay? Like, you can hate Blighttown as much as you want to, but at least it's an okay kind of area. There's at least some intrigue to it, and the challenge of it is fun. Black Gulch is just shit. Did it just jizz on my face again? First of all, you've got these giant cum monsters that come out of the ground and blast you with like their jizz that's poisoning you as well. Then you also have, on top of that, these giant worms that come out of the walls blocking you. So you've got vertical and horizontal enemies that spawn out of the fucking ground. But that's not it though, because the ground around you potentially gonna poison you too. And also, just like the cherry on top to make this the actually worst area probably in this entire game, there's like one more place that I would say is worse, but top 3, baby, top 3. The thing that makes it the worst, there's a red phantom before the boss gate. Why? It's already shit.
Boot splash, heart race, torchlit, no grace, test spit, I duck, worms creep, I'm stuck, red spawn, one hit, dead loop, reboot, trip once, I'm done, fall twice, that's fun, torch broke, so dark, got smacked, no spark, lost souls, no loot, death loop, reboot, reboot, reboot.
Reboot. Reboot. We're stuck. Just do the run back. You know you're not gonna make it out of here. Just do the run back. All my homies hate this place. And also, if you somehow even have the time to, explore this place, you can find a sketchy pathway that is only reachable by falling off an edge, which will lead you to a room with two giants that, if killed, will drop an item that is necessary for entering one of the DLCs much later. I hate that this is how you actually get to one of the DLCs, because I did not want to come back here, but I had to. Oh, and also, did I mention, the only bonfire that will let you skip all the bullshit is a bonfire that's blocked by a petrified NPC. Yes, you need to use one of the items that are limited in the game, the fragrant branches of yore, to open up the bonfire that will let you skip all the jizz monsters. If you make it through that cesspit, you will reach the next Great Soul battle. This is the Rotten. It's a massive, squirming heap of corpses that's bound by suffering. It's buried deep within the Black Gulch, and it's a failed god of decay. It's exactly like Gravelord Nito, and it would make sense because technically all of these great souls that we are collecting used to belong to the main 4 bosses in Dark Souls 1. The ones you have to do in the second half of the game, with the Rotten having the Great Soul of Nito within it. Oh, shit, man, I don't care if it's Nito. This fight is interesting because the Rotten is slow and brutal. Just sticking close to it, avoiding its grabs and punishing whenever it's possible, and then dodging past him is more than enough.
Yes! Okay, I don't have to do that run back. Let's go!
That means that we've got 3 Great Souls down, and the path forward grows much clearer now. Alrighty, I guess this is a good time to take a minute to talk to you about, well, Dark Souls 2. Now, going in, my expectations for this game was that most people just blatantly hate it. And you know what? I'm gonna say it like this. I can understand some of the hatred, but I do think it's a little over-exaggerated. I think the game has some glaring fucking issues, and we will talk about those, but I also think it is really a great game overall. An example is some of the small details in this game that you don't actually notice. Everything from like small graphical things on your character's clothing, or things that are much larger. Like, for example, whenever you do get hollowed in the game, your character will progressively change. What do I mean by this? Well, basically, if you're just regular hollow at full health, right, when your bar hasn't gone fully down, you will look, well, still hollowed, but relatively better looking. But the further down your health bar goes, the worse your hollowing looks, and even to the point that your character starts to basically hunch like a Reddit mod. Your posture turns into one of those. I noticed this. I would actually notice when my character was kind of limping forward. It was very noticeable and would kind of help me in battles to figure out how bad my health was if I wasn't staring at the health bar right away. And this again brings up the issue of, why does this game have such terrible consistency in its hit registration? And also, why is there like no feedback when you get hurt? There is no sound cue, there's no actual physical like representation of the hit, which makes it feel so much more unfair when you do take damage. But it is what it is. We will talk more about that later. For now, let's keep exploring. Our next destination was the Shaded Woods, a cursed forest covered in thick fog and thicker confusion. The moment you walk into this place, you're immediately greeted by silence, shadows, and kind of an unsettling realization that something invisible just stabbed you in the spine. Country roads, take me home to the place. Hey, this place actually looks kind of nice. Ooh. You know what? I like it here. Maybe, oh no. Where am I going? Who's that? Dude, what's happening in this shit?
Yep. Casually just fat shaming like it's nothing. Oh wait, these are, oh my god, I didn't realize. Holy shit, what the fuck?
No. This place introduces enemies that you literally cannot see until they're mid-swing. Like, they will hit you and you won't even know where they are, which is bizarre. And if that wasn't enough, then the game just kind of flips its own rules. You see, these white phantoms, these are normally just the ghosts of previous players, and they're harmless. They don't do shit. It's just like the corpses of people that have passed before. But now, they're aggressive. Yes, they have actually caught me off guard here. I did not expect this. This was 100% a subversion of expectations, and I do like when games do that. Eventually, after stumbling through the fog, I began using fragrant branches to unpetrify these lion-headed warrior enemies who immediately thanked me by attacking me. You owe me a fragrant branch, bitch. But as we run around, I then meet Tark, who's a half-man, half-scorpion NPC. Was I not supposed to attack him? Oh, what are you doing, bro? That guy is a freaking merchant. Why would you attack him? He's even a married man. Why would you do that? Uh-oh. Tark is, or was, a half-man, half-scorpion NPC who I instinctively attacked, only to find out afterwards that he is friendly and he's actually really relevant for this area. Cool detail is that you actually can revive NPCs that you've killed. You just gotta spend a few souls and then you can do that. But either way, since we didn't have much else to do in this zone, we made our way towards the fog gate to fight someone special. All right, we are now entering the next boss arena, and this one is against the Scorpioness Nashka. Now, she is Tark's wife. We kind of killed him. I thought things were complicated, but turns out their relationship's even worse than that. See, she is actually someone that we could have had him help us kill. For some reason, I think they're not on best terms. I don't know, maybe he cheated on her, maybe she cheated on him. I'm not really sure. But one thing about her, though, besides her husband being now dead and also planning to plot to kill her, is the fact that she looks a little bit like Quelaag. Her actual design is very similar to Quelaag from Dark Souls 1 with the spider legs and, the whole package. Man, there's a lot of gooners watching this shit, isn't there?
Oh, she telegraphs the moves. Dude, I swear to God, why do they keep making spiders with titties?
Despite the drama, the fight itself is pretty solid actually. Most of her moves are well telegraphed and fun to dodge, especially her tail stabs. One of the more cleaner fights so far in the game, and I actually appreciated it. It was a solid fight. I don't think it's better than Quelaag. I think Quelaag's was a little harder, maybe because it was my first time playing Dark Souls, but still, I preferred Quelaag, and also just the aesthetic and the story there made more sense to me. Next was the Doors of Pharos, a optional side area filled with traps, and as we enter this place, we actually had the option of going and fighting a giant rat boss, but I somehow completely missed this side area and instead just continued forward into a different place. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's like 9 million different bosses in this game, and half of them, even more than half of them, are kind of shit, but also majority are optional. So most of the ones that you do actually deal with are relatively forgettable, but when there is a good boss, it does make them stand out more because of the really bad ones, which also does give you 10 out of 10 replayability, because there's definitely bosses like this that I have never even actually seen. As I skip ahead, I reach Brightstone Cove, Seldora. It's a sunny, spider-infested death trap. The area starts strong with guards absolutely swarming me though. Why are there 8 dudes guarding one door? What's even in here? I decide to do a little bit of some weird parkour around this place because I thought maybe there was something valuable in this area, only to find a chest that kills me.
Okay, sure.
Okay, you see, up until this point in the game, I've played this entire journey with the preconceived notion that this game doesn't have mimics in it. And that's because there are so many different types of chests in this game that you can pick up and check out in Dark Souls 1. I mean, there's all kinds of varieties of them, but one of the things I didn't know about was mimics. I thought mimics weren't in this game, especially because they hadn't shown up at any of the chests so far, because you have chests you could break, you have chests that have traps inside of them that will shoot like arrows at you. But then there's apparently also mimics. So believe me when I tell you that I love this. I love that I had to do all that parkouring just for the game to turn around and just piss in my face. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna roll. Was that a stone? Oh no, shh. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is New Game Plus. Ooh, door. Ooh, boss gate. What's on the other side? Finally, though, I stumble into the boss room for Prowling Magus and Congregation, a slow-moving religious cult fight that feels oddly similar to the battle against Pinwheel, in the sense that it's really easy.
I should probably write it down. I feel like a lot of these boss fights barely feel like boss fights sometimes. A lot of gimmick fights.
Lore-wise, these guys were likely part of a heretical sect trying to ascend through worship and magic, but in practice, they didn't really do jack shit. Like, this is by far, like, this is the pinwheel of this game, I'm not gonna lie. Chapel, threshold, bonfire, here we are, and instantly, I regret coming here, because now, I've got to deal with spiders. Now, I don't have arachnophobia, but I don't really like spiders. I found one on the bed this morning. They're basically just skittering around, lunging, and just, they're nightmare fuel, okay? And somehow, they aren't even the worst part of this area. It's the fucking fire mages that will snipe you across the map.
Hello, Papa! I'm getting shot across the street by a mage, Papa!
I die several times here, but despite all that, I actually really like this place visually. The sand-style buildings immediately reminded me of this place called Taos Pueblo, a 1,000-year-old Native American village found in what is now modern-day New Mexico. It has this sun-baked historic feeling to it that gives it the kind of a unique atmosphere, and I loved exploring this place. This is also where we find the conclusion of the battle between Creighton and Pate, because here they'll meet up and they will duke it out. And the thing is, you can let them kill each other, or you can join in and, well, take one of them out, or take out both. If you kill both, you can loot both their corpses for all of their gear. But if you only kill one, then the other one will reward you with some kind of gear from themselves. Point mainly being that you can help either one out here. And I'll be honest with you, Pate is nice. He's like the friendlier one based on at least our interactions with him, whereas Creighton is definitely more sketchy. But Creighton is also very strange, and I like his backstory far more. See, the thing about Creighton is he's actually kind of suspected to potentially be a serial killer. Yes, and this is because when we speak to the cartographer, a man that I met in a random cave back in the, Forest of Fallen Giants, this fella, well, if we speak to him back in Majula, he actually says that there is a man that he knows of from his own land that was known by a similar name, something similar to Creighton, who was specifically hunted there for being a serial killer. And given how Creighton behaves and how he acts and everything, would it be that shocking to believe that that guy most likely was a serial killer? I don't know, but I do think that he might have been guilty for some grisly murders. But for now, we're just gonna try to make our way straight down to the boss battle, which involves a lot of annoying spiders and shit trying to block my way until we find it. The Duke's dear Freya. Now, Freya holds the final Great Soul, the one linked to Seath the Scaleless. And this fight, it starts with more spiders. A bunch of them will swarm at you at the start, and while they're easy to kill, they can quickly overwhelm you if you don't clear them out. Freya herself is a massive two-headed spider, which you can attack from back and front, but she only takes damage essentially to the face, or that's where the majority of it comes from. But I actually think this fight is relatively fun. It's not super hard, it's like decently challenging, and I actually really liked it. The only annoying part about it is the small spiders, but I do think they add an element of like multitasking to make sure that you don't just get very comfortable with easily just attacking her whenever she's not swinging at you. Overall, I think it's a relatively good fight.
Come on. Okay. No. Oh, one more. Come on, yes! Okay. Whew. Okay, good.
And with Freya defeated, I now have all 4 Great Souls. And speaking of Great Souls, one thing I messed up back in Dark Souls 1 was actually using the boss souls too early instead of saving them for weapon upgrades. But here in Dark Souls 2, you can actually find a special merchant, someone who can turn boss souls into powerful weapons. You have to save her first from these shaded woods, and then once rescued, this specific blacksmith appears in one of the sand houses here in the chapel threshold area. Her name is Blacksmith Ornifex, and, well, she can help us create some really cool weapons, though I don't know exactly what she's meant to be, some kind of crow or something. But hey, she makes some sick weapons, though. So, I give you this glowing lump, and in exchange, you give me le weapon? Now that we have all the Great Souls, I can head towards the Drangleic Castle using the Fork Road path. This is a road that splits into multiple directions. My goal is the castle itself. Standing before this place is honestly a powerful moment. It's majestic, it's haunting. This massive structure looming over everything. It feels like I've been working towards this moment for this entire run, this entire game.
Oh wow, you made it all the way here. Don't choke now, Kingslayer. We are almost done. I still believe in you.
Yep, she shows up here again. I mean, she actually shows up throughout the entire game. I mean, she's always there, always at the important moments. She's been with us on this entire journey, and I do somehow, wonder, who is she? Like, what's her point in all of this? Why is it important for her that we make it and become king? It's really strange, isn't it? Once we're done simping over the Emerald Herald, we actually struggle getting into the castle because this isn't so simple. See, there's a giant mammoth soldier blocking the path, and even once you get past, well, 2 of them, the castle gate doesn't open unless you do a very specific puzzle. See, what you have to do is you have to kill nearby hollows, which then get absorbed by the door gates, and that will unlock it. I didn't figure this out right away. I only did it on one side and not on both sides, so I wandered around the place confused for quite a long time here.
What a bizarre way to unlock a door.
Eventually, the gate does open, and inside, I meet Chancellor Welliger, who tells me about the king. Turns out the big fella ain't doing so good. The castle itself is packed with danger from the very start. It throws different types of knights at you, including one of the ruined sentinels from earlier in the game, which, yes, the game does do this a lot, where they repeat old bosses as regular NPCs, which is fine, though I think it's, again, kind of a cheap thing to do. Eventually, reaching the King's Passage, a quiet, echoing hallway leading to my next boss fight, the Looking Glass Knight. This fight, again, didn't give me much trouble. The knight himself moves at a very slow and readable pace, but man, the arena is something else. A mirrored knight standing in a rain-soaked courtyard. Yep, everything is made easier thanks to my giant bonk weapon. As you may have noticed, I do always tend to go for a strength build. I like to be able to just bonk my enemies. I know there's gonna be people out there like saying, oh, strength builds, it's so easy. All you have to do is just swing and it's fine. While other people will say the magic builds are super easy. You know what? I don't give a damn. Whatever is fun to use, that's what I'm gonna use. And I like big weapons. I like things that go bonk bonk. In this case, I bonked the shit out of his glass. And we took him down. After the fight, I ride this elevator down deep underground into the worst zone in the entire game. This zone is just so infuriating. Like, it is by far in like the top 2 of worst things I've ever experienced in a Dark Souls game. It genuinely is so shit. It's like this and Black Gulch. Well, what am I talking about? Well, welcome to Shrine of Amana, the most infuriating place in all of Dark Souls 2. So, what is it that makes this place so shit? Well, first of all, there are enemies lurking just beneath the water surface, which we've seen before, but here they are spread around all over the place. They will wait until you're mid-sprint and then leap up and attack you. Then, comes the Amana Knights. These knights will be sprinting faster than you, and even when you are already sprinting, they will somehow be able to catch up. They also have insane range, as their weapons will hit you even when you think you are far enough away. Nope. Oh my god, how are you faster? And then there are the mages. These freaks have literal aimbot. They will snipe you across the map while you are behind cover. They will snipe you before you even see them, and they're placed everywhere and will aggro at any distance. It is insanely difficult because sometimes you'll be hit by one of them and you don't even know where he's shooting from because you don't know that they have aggro at such a long range. And then there's also these big knights as well. Basically, this place is just awful.
Oh my god, this game is... Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, how am I supposed to get through this? Oh.
The entire time, this sweet, siren-like voice will also echo across the water, just mocking me. It's like the game is actively laughing at you, at how bad you are. But that's not all. Even the water is dangerous because there are areas that you cannot even tell are shallow, but some other ones that are really deep, and falling into the wrong patch can instantly kill your run. Combined with the distance to the bonfire placement, it just sucks. And the cherry on top, the boss of this zone, the Demon of Song, is a giant frog that was apparently the one singing the whole time. Lore-wise, it's actually kind of interesting. The song which it sings sounds kind of like the Nameless song from Dark Souls 1, but in terms of gameplay, this battle is underwhelming. You just wait until it opens its face, hit it a few times, and dodge the rare swipe or slam that it shoots, and that's it. That's the battle against the demon. Honestly, again, the coolest thing is just the lore behind it. And from the zone trapped in moisture, I make my way into the Undead Crypt. Now, this place feels different immediately. It's darker, slower, and heavier than, well, the Shrine of Amana, but as I enter, I'm greeted by a mysterious NPC who tells me to not light any fires, lest I anger the dead, which of course I avoid doing. The Undead Crypt is filled with tombs of people long past. It's a short area, and if you manage to sprint past most enemies and lower the bridge, you can just skip over most of this place and you don't have to explore it. I wonder, Green Screen Man, will we end up like them too? I mean, shit, dude, if we keep standing here, probably, yeah. Exploring here is actually pure chaos because eventually I do make it into this long corridor lined with knights and spellcasters. It's one of the last gauntlets before I face one of the game's best bosses, Veldstadt. Veldstadt is a crazy fight. It's like actually one of peak Souls bosses you can get. He's strong, he's got a clean design, and just the right level of difficulty. Veldstadt is huge, and the arena you fight him in is small, making the battle balance. I thought maybe I could hide behind the pillars like in the Smog at Ornstein fight, but nope. These pillars just block your dodging and get in the way, and he will easily break him down.
Come on! Oh, no, you cannot hide behind the pillars. Fuck. Fuck, man! No!
And also, the lore here is amazing too. See, Veldstadt is King Vendrick's most loyal knight. Even after everything fell apart, he stayed by the king's side, his right-hand man of sorts.
There we go!
And as we take him down, we pass by Veldstadt and meet the Emerald Herald again. Hey, I mean, I guess we're back here again. Crazy, isn't it? You and me have been on this journey this entire time. I guess it's almost time to end. I guess he's down there, isn't he?
Wow, you did, Simp. Kingslayer. You cleared all the dangers. Now go and kill my ex.
And then, there he is. King Vendrick. Once ruler of all of Drangleic, now he's just a silent, wandering corpse. He won't attack us. He doesn't even acknowledge us. He just walks endlessly. Huh, you know, I kind of expected more. Like that's it? That's the end of the game? That's the guy I have to kill? I mean, he's not even attacking me. There's not even a fog gate going into this battle. Is that really it? Well, you see, it's a tragic parallel to Gwyn in the case of Vendrick. Where Gwyn clung to power, Vendrick accepted his failure and chose to fade, or at least tried to. Something's holding him here. He's almost trapped between life and death. That's why his corpse is practically just walking around in circles. And also, this isn't the end of the game, but I thought it was. Here's the thing, I end up finding the King's Ring, which is an important item that will open a bunch of locations, but that's not really the last thing I should do in the game. There's still a few things that we have to do. First of all, the giants. You see, throughout the entire game, you've probably heard mentions, as you've been playing it, as I've been playing it, mentions of these giants. For example, the last giant was one of them. Well, turns out there was a war that Vendrick waged against them, and we are able to enter the memories of these giants and collect their souls. There's about like 5 of them or so, and one of them has a really cool set-piece battle that looks just incredible. It's really epic. There's just a bunch of debris and shit falling at you as you're doing it. However, we now have the option of obviously going and, well, dealing with Vendrick now that we have these souls, because these souls will lower his HP and make him easier to beat. That's always the option. I didn't want to do that just yet. I was gonna take him on eventually, but first, I had something else in this game, something very important to do before the ending.
Oh, what is it, Kingslayer? Did you come here to look at me? I'm just pulling your leg. Take it easy. Oh, you want to check out that mansion over there? I see. It's said to be haunted.
Yep, you are right. I did want to check out Majula's mansion. This place has been an anomaly to me for a long time, but with the help of a key given to me by the cartographer, I'm able to explore it. The first floor is mostly just, well, a few corpses and books. There's not really much to do here for the most part, but there is a basement. And if we go down there, things get a bit stranger. There is what looks to be a map with fires lit on it, and they'll be lit in a blue flame if you've actually lit them in the real world corresponding place, which is strange.
Lit. It makes me feel somehow that all the flames have been lit. Who are you again?
Don't remember me? Well, it's fine. I'm gonna check your basement real quick. Maybe there's... You know what? Never mind. I don't think I want to go down there. I mean, I don't want to deal with spiders, but the last thing I want to do is see Asmongold in this bitch. This skeleton actually drops an interesting thing. It drops a human effigy. But here's the trick though. If you use a bonfire ascetic on a nearby bonfire, you can actually force it to respawn. These items are specifically, in this case, used for that, but this lets you farm more effigies, which is great, especially given how punishing hollowing is in this game. I actually love how bonfires and even New Game Plus works in Dark Souls 2. You see, in Dark Souls 1, finishing the game forces you straight into New Game Plus, but in Dark Souls 2, you've got 2 options. First, there is the bonfire ascetics. These things, if you use them on a bonfire, will make all the enemies in a specific area respawn. And also, those enemies will be much stronger. Basically working like a New Game Plus, but for individual areas in the game, which is really cool. And then there's the actual New Game Plus in Dark Souls 2, which we aren't there yet, but basically the way it works is that it doesn't start at the moment you finish the game, at the ending. No, instead you get to choose when you want to start it by just going to the bonfire in Majula.
Once I return back to Drangleic Castle, I run into a creature known as Aldia. This is the brother of Vendrick, the king's literal brother, and he drops some wisdom on me and asks me to answer a few questions. It's a bit cryptic, but he also asks me to go to his special place, which sounds odd.
He explains to me that only a true monarch can break the curse of the undead, or inherit the world's decay. It's kind of strange. It's very existential, convoluted, and honestly kind of cool. This guy, he's been searching his entire life, and through that search becoming this grotesque monster, but his goal was to find a way to stop death itself. But unfortunately, as we know, that shit's inevitable. Skedaddle, skedoodle, where am I going? What am I doing? But with the King's Ring, I can now enter Aldia's Keep. It's where he is, where he stays, where he does his experiments. It's a spooky, aristocratic manor full of dragons, cages, and some very strange NPCs. Why is there a horse carriage here and... Hey, yo. Are they doing it in there? Stop doing it in there!
Would that be it's okay. This NPC is weird. He's like talking to himself. He doesn't sell anything. I don't know.
Yeah, that really strange fella, that is a sorcerer named Navlan. He's got like a split personality thing going on, and depending on whether you like free him or not before you or after you do like his side quest, it will kind of change how he acts. He might either be useful to you or go full-blown serial killer.
I hope you appreciate the ramifications. Well, no matter. What's done is done. Besides, I've found myself a new mark.
He's talking about me, isn't he? He's definitely talking about me. He sure is, because later he will invade us as a red phantom before the boss battle. All of Aldia's keep is filled with weird experiments, half-born beasts, and screaming test tubes. And at the end, we also find a giant guardian dragon locked in a cage. It's an alright dragon fight, though less dangerous than I would have thought it would be, but still worthwhile. Cake, man. It's a man up in fits. Yeah. 909, this loves balloon. All right. Either way, after the fight, I ride a elevator all the way up into the skies and reach the dragon Aerie. And the Dragon Aerie is a really gorgeous location in this game. It is teeming with dragons, there's dragon eggs, giant dragons you can fight, they're flying all over the place. It's a gorgeous place, though the exploding hollows, not so much so. The deeper I go, the more she moans, but also the deeper I go, the more intense the visuals get. Eventually, I do find a massive bridge stretching across a canyon, and this shit is cinematic as you walk on it.
Oh no! Oh, you cannot walk slowly!
Past the bridge, I find a bonfire and then something strange pops out of it. Whoa. Why is Aldia so tiny out of nowhere, dude? He went from literally the side of a room to this thing. Turns out, well, Aldia is just here to inform us on our choices as we go. But also, this is where the ancient dragon rests. It's a massive optional boss fight, but it also hands us a key item. Then we can just leave. Or we can fight it, but I decide not to. Now, the path to the end of the game is open. We have the items needed to fight the last bosses, and we also have the necessary items to take on Vendrick, but I decide to do something else. You see, there are a few things to do, including the DLCs. First, I'm going to be collecting all the key items needed for the DLCs, which are spread out throughout the entirety of this game. They're all over the place. And then we're going to be starting with the first DLC, the Crown of the Sunken King. We enter this through the Black Gulch, which has a special room at the end of the boss fight area here, where we can go into the buried kingdom of Sholva. This DLC is filled with weird puzzles and ways that you need to figure out how to traverse. So maybe if I go this way? Okay, there's a lot of enemies. If I just roll past them? Oh, okay. I'm alive. No, not spiders again. Not fucking spiders. Leave me alone. Okay, you know what? Maybe? Okay, I think I figured it out. Slap this bad boy, and it's gonna go down. Almost. The city here is massive with vertical layers to the map, looping elevators and also loads of like hidden enemies. It's really hard to navigate and I got lost many times in here. It feels like a labyrinth, but honestly, it's kind of a memorable place. The combat is tough, the layout is annoying, but it kind of sticks with you. And through that fog gate, the Squalid Queen awaits. This is one of the hardest, but one of the best boss fights in this entire game, without a doubt. This fight took me forever to beat, as she casts magic, swings a huge staff, and even has the ability to summon minions constantly, like a bunch of skeletons. But worst of all is her dark magic, which eats away at your weapon durability. I had to learn how to actually hot swap gear and my weapons on the fly, like mid-battle, and I had to do this, cycle weapons between her summons, and also get an NPC phantom to help me. It was hell. This battle is so hard.
Is this the same? I think this is the same boss I fight. Oh, it is the same boss I fought earlier. Wow.
Hey, if you like playing Fear and Hunger, then you will enjoy this game, because this has exactly the same amount of gambling, because it's a gamble what kind of shit she's gonna summon. Yes, she has the ability to literally summon in Veldstadt for whatever reason. She can summon him in to fight us as well, which, I mean, again, cheap of you From Software to reuse the same assets again, but I will let you slide because I think it's a sick fight, though really freaking difficult. I even had to develop a strategy here. The moment I would enter the fog gate, I instantly would sprint at her and try to land 2 to 3 hits before she even finishes emerging onto the arena. And after enough trial and error and item farming as well as upgrades, I do finally beat her.
Oh, okay, shut up, Taylor Swift. Oh my god, finally. Oh, that took so long. Oh my god. Oh.
But this DLC isn't done after beating her, because right after Elana comes Sinch, the slumbering dragon. And he is a massive problem. You see, he can fly, and unlike the last dragon we fought, he breathes toxic gas, his tail swipes us, and he also shreds our weapon durability if we hit the wrong part of his body, which is going to destroy our weapons. I actually struggled so badly here that I didn't even know what to do, to the point that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave this dragon fight, and yeah, just randomly I went and just killed Vendrick, okay? Yeah, I killed Vendrick because I thought maybe he would give me enough souls. Like, I didn't even want to kill him. I felt bad for the, like, broken king, dude. But I only did it because I thought maybe it would give me enough souls to level up to beat this dragon. Spoiler alert, it did not. So we killed the king guy for nothing. But eventually I did remember that there is a special NPC called Vengarl's Head, and it's in the Shaded Woods. It's an old warrior turned a merchant. It's mostly just his head there, but he sells gold pine resin, which lets me infuse my weapon with lightning, and lightning does seem to work great on Sin. But even when we've buffed ourselves up, Sin is still a brutal fight. If you stay under him too long, he sprays poison gas. If you back off, he'll just fly up and dive bomb you. And his neck is hard to hit, but it's the only spot that doesn't ruin our weapon durability.
Oh, this is a terrible fucking boss. Oh. Yes! Let's go! Yes! Sorry. Oh. Okay, to be fair though, I did kind of cheat because I had like these NPCs helping me, but I don't think I would have been able to beat him otherwise. Unless I was like, I spent a really fucking long time grinding, but oh my, I cannot believe I fucking did it.
Oh yeah. See, beating him, it took a while, but once he is beaten, ladies and gentlemen, he will give us the crown of the Sunken King, completing the first DLC.
Where is it? Ooh, I can wear the crown?
There's also an optional boss fight in this DLC. It's a trio of warriors wearing old legendary armor: Kara, Varg, and the Afflicted Grave Robber. One of them is dressed like Havel, one looks like an old knight from Dark Souls 1, and one of them moves similarly to the past versions of ourselves. It's kind of like a cool Dark Souls 1 callback, and a great side fight if you want to do it. Overall, I'd give this DLC a solid 7 out of 10. The zone layout drags it down a little bit, it's easy to get lost, and the cave puzzles can at times be a bit confusing to me as a player, as I had not played the game with bow and arrows, so I wasn't used to being forced to have to use those things for this location. I wasn't used to using these items and these weapons, which made the entire area so much harder without some form of guide. The bosses are peak in this DLC. The story itself is also tragic, like all the DLCs. A once proud kingdom destroyed by Sin's awakening, the dragon himself going up. The king tried to control the dragon, and well, it destroyed everything. It's a cautionary tale in this DLC about power and legacy. And also how I was brought to my knees by a giant dragon to gobble on his big schlong. Next up, DLC 2, Broom Tower, baby. Chains, towers, lava, and a guy named Fume Knight, who may or may not be mad at me, I don't really know. The second DLC is the Crown of the Old Iron King. We start by heading back to the Iron Keep and entering the Broom Tower. This is a interesting place. You walk across a massive iron chain suspended over a chasm that's just filled with ash and fire. Kind of looks like a budget Mordor, not gonna lie. Inside, the Broom Tower reveals its biggest strength, which is verticality. You're constantly heading up or down, unlocking elevators and running into optional paths that lead to absolutely disgusting boss fights. And just like the first DLC, you're gonna want to collect a bunch of special items. This time, it's the Souls of Nadalia, which can be used to disable healing idols during the final boss fight. If you miss one, you'll see how it's gonna affect that fight. But before we talk Fume Knight, we have to talk about a different demon deep in the Iron Passage. After one of the worst runbacks in the entire game in this place, where I even for the first time ever try to ask online players to help me, which actually was the only reason I beat this guy, but we get to fight the Blue Smelter Demon. Yes, it's the Smelter Demon again, the same one, but he's blue now. And he's harder.
Oh, okay. Yes. Ah, there we go. Oh, man. Hey, honestly, getting help is kind of nice. I like not having to do everything on my own. It's kind of nice, to be honest. Alright.
Thing is, the Blue Smelter Demon is a optional fight, but again, I didn't know that. Just fighting him allows us to pass by him and go, well, back to where we originally came from. The fight we're actually looking for is at the bottom of this place. There is a really cool mechanic that goes into this fight that also matches really well with the actual DLC itself, which is those sticks that you put like out of Nadalia and her statues. Well, basically, if you did enough of those, then when you go down to fight Fume Knight, right outside his arena, there are those same kind of statues, and if you deactivate them once you enter the arena, he will not be able to heal himself. What do we mean? Well, basically, there are these like orbs in the corner of the actual arena that heal him anytime those stakes are still, well, inserted. So if you've actually explored the entire DLC and the entire like Broom Tower, then this fight will be easier. It's generally a really cool mechanic. Fume Knight was originally the real right-hand man to King Vendrick, but he lost a fight against one specific person, that being Veldstadt. And when he lost against him, well, he was banished to this kingdom, to this place. This is where he came. And the sad part is that Fume Knight, well, he really loved the king. He really worked his ass off for him. But Veldstadt was, well, working for someone else. The funny part, though, is a little small detail. If you actually wear Veldstadt's helmet in this fight, Fume Knight will instantly jump to phase 2 of this fight from the get-go, because he's literally that pissed. It's a cool little Easter egg. I think it's really sick.
Oh. 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 There we go. There we go.
Beating Fume Knight gets you the second crown. There is also an optional fight here against Sir Alone, who has a really cool battle. He acts like, sort of like a samurai, and if you manage to beat him without losing any health against him, he actually commits seppuku. All in all, Broom Tower is easily one of the best DLCs in Dark Souls 2. Between the layered castle design, the lore reveals, the 3 killer boss fights, even if one of them is just a Smelter Demon reskin, I'd still give it, again, a 7 out of 10. It's a brutal climb, but it's a worthy one. And with that, there's only one DLC left, the final crown, and also my favorite of the 3. We head through the Shrine of Winter to enter the last DLC, the Frozen Elysium Lois. But the thing about this place is, this is like one of the first places I've seen so far in Dark Souls where we actually see snow. And then it throws a boss at me instantly. Except, I actually can't see this boss. What do you mean can't see? The thing we're fighting is called Ava. It's the king's pet, and it's a massive invisible saber-toothed tiger. Now, I threw in the towel on this fight after dying a few times, but later realized I could actually find an item which instantly made Ava visible. But it didn't just make her visible. If I had this item on me, it actually made all those guys back in the Shaded Woods visible as well. Now after that, we then actually fight her and take her down. The fight becomes much more manageable. The rest of Elium Lois is packed with frozen knights, cursed ice mages, and some really sick architecture because the place looks gorgeous.
Why is it so cold here though? I don't understand.
I meet Alsana, the Ivory King's queen, and she's been containing the abyss here with her ice magic. That's why everything is frozen and under snow. But the thing is, she's been locking down the entire kingdom on her own as a way to protect it from total corruption. Why is it all corrupted? Well, somebody decided to fuck around with the abyss, and we all know how that goes. You mess around, then you will find out. And in this case, the Ivory King took on the brunt of that, and he got fully corrupted. So, she asks me to finish what he started. To kill him. To stop him and stop the abyss. You know what? I'll help you, but it's only because I forgot to bring shoes, man, and I don't like it being cold here, so... I'll help out. Before facing the king himself, though, there is an optional set of things we can do in this place. Now, first of all, we can explore it and find so many different side activities, interesting enemies to fight, cool items, and one of the worst runbacks ever, which is against an optional boss. They're called Lud and Zalen, which are two icy cybercats just like Ava, but the runback for these guys is just so bad, so I just skipped it, because I looked it up and I didn't have to do it. I was like, you know what, I ain't doing it. Instead, I spent time exploring Elium Lois and recruiting specifically the Lois Knights. These guys are optional NPCs hidden throughout the city that you can summon into the final boss fight against the Ivory King. You don't need them, but bringing them into the final fight feels incredible.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Oh man, I'm just gonna say it, dude. I'm just gonna say it. This is one of the coolest boss fights ever. You see, by calling in these guys, by going around and doing these literally side quests to essentially recruit these knights to help us, has this such a cool scene where we all jump down together with the boys. We got the squad with us to take on the Ivory King. And the fight is really cool because it starts off like this. Well, first, there's a bunch of knights that are corrupted coming out of these portals. What we need now is our boys to go ahead and help us kill them, seal off those portals, and eventually, if we do that, then the final man himself appears. That is the Ivory King.
Okay. You know what? Peak boss. Actual peak boss though.
This is my favorite fight in Dark Souls 2. There's not even a question. Like, out of any fight I've ever had, this might actually be up there for me as a top fight in all of Dark Souls that I've played so far. Still need to do Dark Souls 3. But why do I love it so much? Well, first of all, the actual quest you do to get here. Recruiting the knights, getting them all together, all the side stuff you do. I love that. I love that they jump into the arena together with me. I love that we fight off all these like mini dudes right before the man himself. And he does not disappoint. His moveset is interesting. He will hit you hard. And if we still have a few of the knights on our side still left alive, they will help us. But it's such a cool fight. Everything around it, the arena itself, it looks sick. And when you finally beat him, you've taken down the Ivory King. It's absolute cinema. And that's it. That's the DLC. And I love everything about this one. The atmosphere, the pacing, the optional like side areas, the optional systems, the tragic story of a loyal king, a loyal queen, frozen forever with the abyss sealed away beneath his own ruined city. I actually love this place so much, I decided to come back in New Game Plus just to explore it more, to take on optional fights I might have skipped and clean up like paths I hadn't done yet. That's how much I like this DLC. My final score for the Crown of Aerie King DLC is a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, I mean, I can see that, but essentially it is easily one of my favorite parts of this entire game. I love this DLC. I think it's so good, and it actually made me enjoy this game far more than I had up until this point. I returned to Drangleic Castle one last time. Using the King's Ring, we open a giant gate, and then we meet her.
Oh, it's you again, my little simp boy. Seems you are only one step away from becoming monarch. Well, I trust and believe in you. So go ahead. Finish what you started.
Pushing forward, we reach the fog gates. And as we walk inside, it's a boss fight, but one that I didn't expect. Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. Now, this fight is actually great. See, the two of them have very distinct patterns to how they work. It's similar to Smaug and Orenstein, but still relatively different. Of course, one is fast and nimble, and one is slow and defensive, but this time, the one that's small and fast actually uses more like magic, so it's feelings different, and it's a little easier than Orenstein and Smaug. You just gotta split them up and avoid their synergy, because if you kill one of them and they get close together, they can revive the other one, which is way different because what happens in Dark Souls 1 is that Smaug or Orenstein, if either one dies, they'll just absorb the body of the other one. So these two at least seem to work better together.
Oh, boom. Okay. Okay, let's go.
The arena goes silent, but only for a moment.
You have proven yourself to me.
Nashandra. She is the queen, the manipulator. She's one of the children of Dark, bearing a fragment of Manus, the abyssal beast from Dark Souls 1's DLC. You guys may remember him. He's the one who corrupted everything in the DLC of that game. And well, the thing about her is, she is the reason for all the troubles of this kingdom. She was the one who corrupted Vendrick. She was the one who made him start a war against the giants. And she was the one who made everything fall into decay. Because, inherently, she is evil.
And her backstory is cool and all, however, the fight against her is relatively easy. She's like a worse version of the Squalid Queen fight from the first DLC. So when we do defeat her, I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of underwhelming. The whole fight was underwhelming, even the arena just kind of shitty. But there is one more person we have to fight in this version of the game.
One round of poison, another shocking to flame. Still another slumbers in the realm of life. Not one of them stood here. As you do now. You, conqueror of adversities. Is your answer?
Here he is, Aldia, the scholar of the first sin. Well, you see, he was also involved with some of these experiments, and, well, that's why he is a monster. I think the lore behind this guy is more interesting than the fight itself, which is unfortunate, because I do think he's got some interesting concepts behind him. It's the theme of the battle that matters most here. He's testing us. Every monarch before us failed, but will we do that? Will we fail like the rest of them? Once he falls, he leaves us with one question. Do you take the throne or walk away? It's right there. Nah, fuck that, dude. I'm taking the throne. And that is it. I made my choice. I decided to continue the curse. I took the throne, and I would be the new king of Drangleic.
All of this will play out again. It is your choice to embrace or renounce this. Great Sovereign, take your throne. What lies ahead, only you can see.
Dark Souls 2 in some weird way, it's kind of like the Nickelback of the franchise. I mean, everybody loves to hate it, but secretly, some of the stuff they make slaps, you know? I mean, do I like it more than Dark Souls 1? No. But Dark Souls 2 has like a level of consistency in its second half that I didn't have in Dark Souls 1, and I kind of appreciate that. Plus, the fact that there are 3 DLCs in this game actually makes up for any discrepancies because you have so much content. There's just so much to do here. Like I said, this game has problems. The biggest of those, of course, being a lot of the gameplay mechanics. To start off with, again, the movement in this game is awful without mods. That's just unforgivable. Then there's also hit registration and the hitboxes in this game, because it's really weird when you get hit in this game, there's no input, there's nothing that tells you got hit, it just kind of happens. But then it has some great stuff. There's just these small details that you just don't see in Dark Souls 1. This like level of effort they put in. I think the biggest issue for me personally about this game is that beginning part. The game feels a little inconsistent in the beginning. It's just, you don't really know where to go. There's too many paths, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the problem is that it's just so difficult with the hollowing early on because you don't even know how to deal with it properly. It's just so unnecessarily brutal. I wish they had just done it better, balanced it out more. I don't think this game deserves the hate. I think it's a good game. Is it a great game? Maybe not. Is it a bad game? Far from it. I think it's a decent game. It has its issues, but also has some of the sickest fights that I've ever had. The Ivory King, that was a sick fight. That one I'm gonna remember. The fight against Sin, that dragon was a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna remember it. The Black Gulch, being a literal shithole, I'll remember that. That's my journey in Dark Souls 2. It's an unforgettable journey that I don't think I'll ever forget. All right, well, I guess now it's time for the next one, I guess. I wonder, which one do we do next?